You see the graffiti in your community, and nowhere, it seems, is immune. But what kind of gangs do we have in Utah? And what are police doing to protect you from them? Only on 4, we sent ABC4's Kimberly Houck out with the Metro Gang Unit. And Kimberly, what did you learn?
Well, I learned anytime you see markings like these, you are standing in an area where a gang member has marked their territory. And you can tell by their graffiti what gang you're dealing with and what they're about.
We're from the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
See all this in around here. You gotta stick
Oscar,
together.
is that the neighborhood where everybody wears blue and black?
Yeah,
That
blue
same
and black.
neighborhood?
Blue and black.
For some in Salt Lake City, they start very young wanting to be in a gang. These officers hit the streets from downtown to Sandy nightly as the Metro Gang Unit, and they allowed us to ride along to see for ourselves how there are 3 ways one can become a gang member. Some are born in, others will be jumped in, as seen in this beating put on YouTube of a gang initiation in Rose Park. Or the 3rd way is to crime in.
They can go target just your normal, run-of-the-mill citizens within the valley.
And officers say a very common way to crime in is the home invasion where any family can become a target. In March, a home invasion in Ogden led to a 12-year-old girl being choked. Earlier that month, 2 more violent home invasions happened in both West Valley City and South Salt Lake.
Property crime, stealing is huge. A lot of our stolen cars in the valley are tied to gang members. You're seeing a lot of the white supremacist gangs here in Utah that are responsible for a large majority of the check frauds, counterfeiting, and your paper crimes.
And they are all tied to this: red, blue, black, green, and orange. Big boxy letters and scribbles.
It's a tagging feud going on because they're crossing each other off.
Detective Jake Burton shows us the long row of graffiti marking one wall along a Trax train stop in South Salt Lake. It's the same kind of markings on a wall right outside of a home where one informant is being used to purchase drugs from a known gang member.
That's crystal methamphetamine right there.
Selling drugs is how the gangs make their money. And finding those willing to do the selling is what takes gangs into the schools, where they look for young recruits, those kids who seem out of place and are looking for acceptance.
I'm not ashamed. No? You think I would do this if I was ashamed? Hell no.
Do you think your mother would be proud of you?
My mother? Come on now, don't bring my mother up, please.
Several officers surround this young group sitting in front of an apartment complex in Midvale. They flash their La Primera gang signs for the camera.
Symbols of friendship, symbols of careness.
This group of 14 to 17-year-olds are already planning their first tattoos.
Why there?
Because it looks like a cool spot to tattoo.
They will one day be the very markings
Come on, man. Step out of the car, man.
cops will use
Put your legs. Father.
to identify known gang members. This man goes by the name Oscar and the nickname Spooky. The Inked on 13 says he belongs to the Sureños gang that began in LA. The TMC is an acronym telling police he's a member of the gang's breakoff known as the Magician's Crew.
Everybody's scared of me. I don't want them to be scared of me. I want them to be, I just want respect, you know?
Oscar says he's made his way to Salt Lake City from Los Angeles in search of a quieter life.
I got tired of getting shot at and being chased. And
How many times have you been shot at, man?
I lost count.
Really?
Yeah.
He's like so many others roaming Utah's streets. There are 50 documented gangs in Utah with approximately 3,000 members.
A lot of your gangs are started in the prison, as this one did, and they segregate in the prison for power and for protection.
And once they're released, it is up to the gang unit to keep an eye on them. During several ride-alongs, we watched as officers work to be proactive, not reactive, looking for any signs of potential trouble and suppressing it before it happens.
Bunch of marijuana.
But the amount is not large enough to warrant an arrest, but it is enough to alert this unit to keep track of Oscar. They will enter him in their database.
Why we have a gang in it is to document them for the court process, to be able to identify them, be able to come in contact with them and say, hey, you know, when they go to court, for the most part, they can be a completely different person in court.
Some trying to conceal a life they're choosing to live. Now, one way that the police are working to keep kids off the streets and out of gangs is through different after-school programs. Now, coming up tomorrow night on ABC4 News at 10, you're going to see how boxing with cops is changing young lives. Reporting live from West Valley City, I'm Kimberly Huck for ABC4 News.